that what I must do would be to get all of the strength that I could, because the mere fact that I had reached the conclusion was not very significant, because the decision really lay with President Johnson.
Clifford said, I noticed you this afternoon at the State Department, and it seems to me you and I are on the same side. And I think we should form a partnership. You should be the partner in the White House, and I'll be the partner in the Pentagon. You tell me what goes on over there that you hear, and I'll tell you what happens over here. And together, we'll get this country and our president out of this mess.
Harry was our secret dove. Harry was very close to the president. Harry and I were close. Harry was close to other members of the White House staff.
We began to develop a group, and I know that after a while the question would be very secretly, is he with us? That means, is he part of this group that is organized and dedicated to changing Lyndon Johnson's mind? It was almost like some very similar expression used in the French Revolution. Is he with us?
Without his having to say so, getting us out of this mess did not mean putting in another 200,000 or 300,000 men in order to beat North Vietnam, the Viet Cong. It meant to begin the process of de-escalation, as it was called, of disengagement of the United States. I was exhilarated.
On March 10th, the New York Times revealed the Pentagon's request for additional troops. The request had been a closely guarded secret. The disclosure stunned members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, then holding hearings on Vietnam. Secretary of State Dean Rusk was grilled on live television for 2 days.
There is incipient uprising in this country in opposition to this war, and it's going to get worse. This talk about sending over 100,000 to 200,000 more troops, you're going to create a very serious difficulty in this country if you people in the administration go through with that.
Now, Mr. Secretary, for some years we have been bombing the North. As I understand it, this bombing of the North had 3 purposes. 1, to hurt North Vietnam. That's been done. Secondly, to stop the infiltration of men down across the parallel and the Ho Chi Minh trails. Has that been done?
It has not been stopped completely, Senator, and we never supposed that it could stop it completely. But we do know that it has had some major impact upon the capacity of the other side to carry out this infiltration, and has cost him very heavily.
The rate of infiltration in 1965 was about 1,500 a month. In 1966, about 4,500 a month. In 1967, between 5,500 and 6,000 a month. And in 1968, it's my understanding that in January, 20,000 men came down from North Vietnam into South Vietnam. Is that a correct figure or a correct estimate?
I would accept those as approximately correct, sir.
Mm-hmm. Then the third factor, in addition to hurt, reducing infiltration, the third factor was to bring Hanoi to the conference table. Are they any closer to the conference table now than they were when the bombing began?
We have seen no evidence that they're prepared to undertake serious discussions toward a peaceful settlement of this situation.
Senators Morse and Mansfield had long opposed the war. But after Tet, supporters like Senator Carl Munt of South Dakota began to abandon Johnson.
One who has consistently supported the decision of the administration to stay on and press on with this war, I am totally and sorrowfully disappointed by your answer. And I think this is one of the great causes for dissension in this country.
Now Congress wanted a change, either victory or withdrawal. Congress, also concerned about the cost of the war, forced Johnson to trim his domestic programs. He could not spend more on a limited war, and he feared an expanded war.
Johnson's greatest fear, as he once put it, was that an American pilot was going to miss his target in Hanoi or Haiphong Harbor and put a bomb down the smokestack of a Russian freighter with the Russian minister on board, and that the pilot would be from Johnson City, Texas. He was he was extremely disturbed that we might provoke the Russians, or earlier the Chinese, into coming to the aid of Vietnam. And that was one of the tremendous dilemmas he had throughout the war, when a great many Americans wanted the United States to go ahead and finish it off.
Johnson also had to consider the war at home. Until then, he had dismissed street demonstrations. But 1968 was a presidential election year, and out of the growing anti-war sentiment, there emerged